I'm really happy you're here. My name is Emily, and in this episode, we're going to do something simple but powerful. We're going to talk about real English. English that people actually use every day. This episode is for you if you are learning English and sometimes feel confused by long sentences or difficult words. Maybe you already know a few words, maybe you've learned a few grammar rules. But when it's time to speak, it feels hard. That's okay. You're not alone. Everyone feels like that at some point, and that's why we're here together now. Today, I'm going to show you many common phrases. These are short, easy sentences that people say all the time. You will hear them at home, at work, in church, in stores, and with friends. These are the phrases that help you live in English, not just study it. And here's something really important. Many people try to speak using difficult or formal English. They want to sound smart. But in real life, native speakers use short, simple phrases. These are the ones that will help you speak faster, understand better, and feel more confident. We're going to look at each phrase slowly. I'll explain what it means. I'll give examples. And I'll tell you what kind of longer or harder phrases people don't usually say because there's an easier way. This episode is not about memorizing big vocabulary lists or perfect grammar. It's about using English that works English, that makes your life easier. Let's take a quick example. Maybe you learned the phrase, "I am feeling exhausted." That's not wrong. It's a good sentence. But most people don't say that. They say, "I'm tired." It's short. It's real. It's easy. So when you hear someone say, "I'm tired," now you know. It means the same as "I am feeling exhausted," but it's much more common. Or think about the phrase, "I would like to have a cup of coffee." That's very polite. But do you know what most people say? They say, "I need coffee," or just "I want coffee." It's simple. And that's the kind of English we're going to practice here. So don't worry about sounding perfect. Worry about sounding natural. Now, this episode is about 1 hour and a half. You don't need to listen all at once. You can pause, come back, repeat, or just let it play in the background while you walk, clean, or relax. That's how we learn best, by letting the language become part of our routine. And don't worry if you don't understand every single word. The important thing is the message, the rhythm, the feeling. If you keep listening, it will get easier, I promise. One more thing before we begin. Sometimes I'll compare phrases. I'll say, "This is what people usually say," and "This is what people don't usually say." That's just to help you choose better words. There's nothing wrong with big or formal words. But if you want to speak with confidence in daily life, it's better to keep it simple. Now, let's get started with something familiar, the beginning of the day. Let's imagine it's morning. You wake up, maybe you don't want to leave your bed, and you think, "Ugh, it's too early." That's already one great phrase. It's too early. Let's talk about the beginning of your day, the moment you open your eyes and get out of bed. For many people, mornings are not easy. You're still tired, your brain feels slow, and sometimes you just want to sleep more. So, what kind of English do people usually use during this part of the day? Let's start with a simple phrase you'll hear a lot. When people wake up and check the time, they often say, "It's too early." This is a very common sentence. It means, I don't want to wake up yet. It's short and real. Instead of saying something like, "I feel that the time is insufficient for more sleep," you can just say, "It's too early." Another useful phrase is, "I'm still sleepy." It means your body is awake, but your brain is not. You want to go back to sleep. Some people try to say, I haven't fully woken up yet, but honestly, I'm still sleepy, is what most people say. Now imagine someone in your house, maybe your mom or your friend, comes to wake you up. They might say, wake up. That's a short and direct command. Or they could say something softer, like time to get up. It means the same thing. Morning is here and it's time to move. Then maybe you finally sit up and say something like, I need coffee. You don't need to say, I would like to have a cup of coffee to help me feel more alert. No. People usually say, I need coffee, or maybe even just coffee. That one word says it all. Let's pause here and repeat these phrases together in your mind or out loud. It's too early. I'm still sleepy. Wake up. Time to get up. I need coffee. Can you feel how useful these phrases are? They're real, short, and easy to use every single day. Now, imagine going to the bathroom in the morning. You might hear someone say, I need a shower, or I'm brushing my teeth. Maybe they ask, where's my toothbrush? Or complain, I can't find my towel. These are everyday sentences. And when someone is doing all these things, they might simply say, I'm getting ready. That's one of the most useful expressions you can learn. It means you are preparing for the day, doing all the little things like washing, dressing, and getting or. Now let's walk to the kitchen. Maybe someone asks, what's for breakfast? Or maybe they say, I'm not hungry, or I'll just have some toast. Someone might also ask, do we have milk? All of these are very normal. We don't usually say things like what kind of food will be consumed this morning. We keep it simple, what's for breakfast? Now picture a typical morning conversation. Someone walks into the kitchen and says morning. The other person might respond with the same word, morning. Then they ask, how did you sleep? And the answer might be something like, not great. I'm still tired. Then the first person might offer coffee by simply saying, coffee. And the other person replies, yes, please. These are the real conversations people have. Not long, not complicated, just real words for real life. Let's now talk about how to describe your sleep. If you slept really well, you can say, I slept like a baby. If you didn't sleep at all, you might say, I couldn't sleep. Another phrase is, I woke up many times, which means your sleep was interrupted. And if your dreams were strange, just say, I had weird dreams. Now, maybe you woke up too late. In that case, you can say, I overslept. This means you missed your alarm or didn't wake up on time. It happens. And when it does, people often say things like, oh no, I overslept, followed by I need coffee, and maybe I'm going to be late. Let's say those together now, slowly. I couldn't sleep. I overslept. I had weird dreams. I'm going to be late. Now, let's talk about getting dressed. Someone might say, I have nothing to wear, or where's my shirt? Maybe they look in the mirror and ask, does this look okay? And if they're still not ready, they might say, I'm not ready yet. Again, all of these are short, easy sentences. You don't need to say, I am unsure if this outfit is appropriate for the day. Instead, just ask, does this look okay? Let's now imagine that someone is running late. You might hear them say, I'm late. Or maybe they're looking for something and say, I can't find my keys. Someone nearby might say, let's go, or hurry up. That last one, hurry up, is a very common expression, especially in the morning when time is short. So, let's look at a full example. A person wakes up late and says, oh no, I overslept. I need coffee. I can't find my keys. Hurry up, let's go. That's a real morning in 5 sentences. Finally, when everything is ready, when you're dressed and awake and maybe holding a cup of coffee, you can say something like, "Let's start the day." It's a positive phrase. It means, "I'm ready. Let's move forward." So now, take a moment to repeat these phrases to yourself, if you can. "It's too early. I'm still sleepy. Time to get up. I need coffee. I'm getting ready. I couldn't sleep. I overslept. Let's go. Hurry up. Let's start the day." These are simple words, but they help you live in English. And that's the goal. In the next part, we'll see what kind of English people use when they leave home and go to work or school. Get ready for more short, useful, and real-life phrases. Now, let's talk about what happens when you leave your house. Maybe you're going to work, to school, or somewhere else. You step outside and your day really begins. This part of the day has many simple and important phrases that you can use. Imagine you leave your home and look up at the sky. You might say, "It's a beautiful day," or maybe, "It's so cold today," or even, "It's raining." These are great ways to start a conversation or just say what you feel. You don't need to say, "The weather today is quite unpleasant due to heavy precipitation." Just say, "It's raining." Now, when you are in a hurry and walking fast to catch the bus, someone might say, "Hurry up, we'll miss the bus." Or you might think to yourself, "I hope I'm not late." When you arrive at the bus stop or train station, you might ask another person, "Has the bus come yet?" Or you can say, "Is the bus late?" These questions are short and very common. When you finally see the bus coming, someone might say, "Here it comes." That's a very natural way to express excitement or relief that the bus is arriving. Now imagine getting on the bus. You might greet the driver with a simple "Good morning." And if you don't know where to get off, you can ask, "Does this bus stop at Main Street?" This question is direct and easy. If you are not sure which bus to take, you might ask someone nearby, "Which bus goes to downtown?" Or you can say, "Do you know how to get to the mall?" These questions help you get information quickly. Sometimes you might need to ask the driver to stop. You can say, "Can you stop at the next stop?" Or if you're on a train, you might hear someone say, "Is this seat taken?" if they want to sit down. Let's pause for a moment and repeat some of these key phrases together. "It's a beautiful day." "It's so cold today." "Hurry up, we'll miss the bus." "Has the bus come yet?" "Is the bus late?" "Here it comes." "Does this bus stop at Main Street?" "Which bus goes to downtown?" "Is this seat taken?" Now, let's think about what happens if you miss your bus or train. Someone might say, "Oh no, I missed it," or "We'll have to wait for the next one." It's very normal to hear these phrases in the morning. When you finally get a seat, you might hear someone talking on the phone saying, "I'm on the bus now," or "I'm almost there." These are short updates people often give when they are on the way to meet someone. Now, let's move to driving. If you're in a car with someone, you might hear phrases like, "Buckle up." Gives it means, "Put on your seatbelt, let's hit the road." Gives it means, "Let's start driving." "Which way should I go?" Gives asking for directions. "There's a lot of traffic today." Gives it means the roads are busy. We're stuck in traffic. Gives when you can't move because there are too many cars. If someone is driving too fast, you might say, "Slow down." And if you're worried about being late, you could say, "Can we go faster?" These are very common and useful. Imagine you were giving directions. Someone might ask, "How do I get to the train station?" And you can answer, go straight, then turn left. Or maybe it's right around the corner. These directions are easy and real. Nobody says proceed approximately 200 meters before executing a left turn. That's too complicated for everyday conversation. Another helpful phrase when you don't know the way is, I'm lost, or can you help me? People use these all the time when they are confused about where they are. Let's practice more together. I'm on the bus now. I'm almost there. Buckle up. Let's hit the road. There's a lot of traffic. We're stuck in traffic. How do I get to the station? I'm lost. Now think about talking with a taxi driver or a rideshare driver. When you get in the car, you might say, "Hi, I need to go to the library," or "Can you take me to the airport?" These sentences are short and effective. When you arrive, you can simply say, "Thank you," and "Have a nice day." This is polite and friendly. Sometimes the driver might ask you, "How's your day?" And you can answer, "It's good, thank you," or "I'm tired, but good." Short, honest answers are best. One more common phrase is, "How long will it take?" This is what you say when you want to know how much time the trip will last. The driver might answer, "About 20 minutes." You don't need to say, "Could you estimate the approximate duration of the journey?" Just keep it simple. How long will it take? Now let's put a small conversation together. Imagine you get into a taxi. You might say, "Hi, I need to go to the train station." The driver could answer, "Sure, buckle up." Then you ask, "How long will it take?" And the driver says, "About 15 minutes. That's it. Natural and easy. Let's repeat these sentences now. Hi, I need to go to the station. How long will it take? About 15 minutes. Thank you. Have a nice day. Remember, in transportation, short phrases work best. They help you communicate fast, and people will understand you better. And don't worry if you make a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. The important thing is to try. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Now you're ready for your morning travels. In the next part, we'll talk about the phrases you need when you arrive at work or school, meet people there, and start your day. Take a moment to breathe, and when you're ready, let's continue together. Now, let's talk about daily routines inside your home. We do many small things every day, and for each of them, there are short and natural expressions in English that help you sound more fluent and relaxed. Let's start with one of the most common things people say when walking into the kitchen in the morning. You might hear, "I'm making coffee." It's a very simple sentence. You don't need to say, "I am preparing a cup of coffee for myself." That sounds too formal and not natural. Just "I'm making coffee" is perfect. And after making coffee, someone might say, "Do you want some?" This is more natural than saying, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" Which is correct, but less common in daily conversation. Native speakers often choose shorter forms like "want some" or "do you want some?" If you don't want coffee, you can simply say, "No, I'm good." This doesn't mean you're a good person. In this context, "I'm good" means "no, thank you." It's a polite and casual way to say no. Now let's move to other parts of the house. In the living room, you might want to relax. You can say, "I'm just chilling." This means you're relaxing, maybe watching TV or doing nothing special. It's more common than saying, "I'm relaxing in the living room." Or maybe you're watching something. People usually say, "I'm watching a show." You don't need to say, "I'm watching a television program." That sounds too heavy. A show is simple and more natural. Let's say someone asks you to do something while you're resting. A very common and honest response would be, "Give me 5 minutes." It means I'll do it soon, but in a relaxed way. It's more natural than I need a few more minutes before I can help you. Now, imagine you're in your bedroom. You're tired. What do people usually say? I'm going to bed. It's much better than saying, I'm going to sleep now. You don't always go to sleep immediately, but going to bed includes the idea of ending your day. Or maybe you're not ready to sleep yet. You can say, I'm getting ready for bed. That includes brushing your teeth, changing clothes, maybe checking your phone one last time. It's a very common expression. And what if the house is a little messy? You might say, I need to clean up. It's better than I need to organize the house or I need to make things tidy. Cleanup is short, friendly, and commonly used. Now, imagine someone asks you what you're doing and you're not really doing much. People often say, nothing much. It's a relaxed way to say, I'm not doing anything important. It's better than saying I'm just at home without any plans. Let's go to the kitchen again. You're hungry, and you say, I'm gonna grab something to eat. This is more natural than I'm going to prepare a meal for myself. Grab something to eat is quick and casual. After eating, you might say, that hit the spot. This is a fun way to say the food was just what you needed. Not everyone uses this one, but it's very native and common in relaxed situations. Now, maybe it's noisy in the house. You can say, can you keep it down? This is more polite than stop making noise. It still asks for quiet, but in a nicer way. If you're tired and want to relax alone, you can say, I need some space. This is better than saying I want to be alone. It sounds more personal and calm. You see, inside the house, people use short, soft expressions to talk about what they do, what they feel, and what they want. The goal is to make communication light and friendly. So next time you're at home and want to talk about something simple, like watching TV, drinking coffee, or going to bed, try to use these small, powerful phrases. They will help you sound more natural, and they will make your English easier to understand, too. Let's talk now about the words and phrases you use at work or school. This is a very important part of the day for many people. You meet other people, you do tasks, and you have to talk a lot. When you arrive at work or school, someone might say, "Good morning." It's a simple way to greet people. You can answer the same way, "Good morning," or just "Hi." Maybe someone will ask, "How are you?" A good answer is, "I'm fine, thank you," or just "Good." This is polite and easy. At work or school, you might hear these sentences. Let's get started. This means it is time to begin work or class. Do you understand? People ask this to check if you know what to do. Can you help me? This is a polite way to ask for help. I don't understand. It is okay to say this when you need more explanation. If you need to explain, you are busy. You can say, "I'm working on it," or "I'm busy right now." If you want to say you are finished, say, "I'm done." At work or school, you might hear these sentences. Let's get started. This means it is time to begin work or class. Do you understand? People ask this to check if you know what to do. Can you help me? This is a polite way to ask for help. I don't understand. It is okay to say this when you need more explanation. If you need to explain, you are busy. You can say, "I'm working on it," or "I'm busy right now." If you want to say you are finished, say, "I'm done." Remember, short and clear sentences are the best. People want to understand you fast and easily. It is better to say, "I don't know," than to try to explain and get confused. Let's practice some phrases together. Good morning. Let's get started. Can you help me? I don't understand. I'm busy right now. I'm done. Take a break. Where is the bathroom? Nice to meet you. See you later. Remember, in work and school, short and clear sentences are the best. People want to understand you quickly. Don't try to use long or difficult sentences if you're not sure. Saying I don't know or I need help is better than trying to explain and getting confused. One more thing. Sometimes people ask, "Are you ready?" This means, "Is everything okay? Can we start?" You can answer, "Yes, I'm ready," or "Not yet." Now, imagine you need to talk about your work or study. You can say, "I'm working on a project. I'm studying English. I have a test today." These phrases are simple but helpful. If you want to say you don't know something, you can say, "I don't know," or "I'm not sure." Both are very common and natural. If you want to ask a question, use, "Can you explain this?" "What does this mean?" These help you learn and understand better. In short, at work or school, use short phrases. Be polite. Ask for help when you need it. And don't worry about making mistakes. The most important thing is to communicate. In the next part, we'll talk about places like supermarkets or pharmacies and the useful phrases there. Take a break now, and when you're ready, we continue. Now, let's talk about places you visit outside your home, like the supermarket, pharmacy, or other stores. These are very common places where you need to speak English clearly and simply. When you enter a store, you might hear someone say, "Can I help you?" This is a polite question from a worker. It means, "Do you need help?" You can answer, "Yes, please," if you want help. Or say, "No, thank you," if you don't. If you want to find something, you can ask, "Where can I find the milk? Do you have bread? Is there fresh fruit?" These questions are short and useful. Sometimes you might want to know the price. You can ask, "How much is this?" or "What's the price?" If you want to say it's expensive, you can say, "It's too expensive." Or if it's cheap, say, "It's a good price." If you want to pay, you can say, "Can I pay by card?" or "Do you accept cash?" These are common questions at checkout. At the pharmacy, you might say, "I need medicine for a headache." Or ask, "Do you have cold medicine?" The worker might ask, "Do you have a prescription?" You can answer, "Yes, here it is," or "No, I don't." If you don't understand the worker, it's okay to say, "Can you say that again?" or "Please speak slowly." Now let's practice some of these phrases. Can I help you? Where can I find the milk? How much is this? It's too expensive. Can I pay by card? I need medicine for a headache. Do you have cold medicine? Please speak slowly. When you go shopping, these phrases help you ask questions and understand what people say. Remember to speak clearly and listen carefully. Sometimes people say, "Do you need a bag?" When you finish shopping, you can say, "Yes, please," or "No, thank you." It's also polite to say thank you when you finish your purchase. Let's imagine a small conversation. You enter the store and a worker says, "Can I help you?" You answer, "Yes, where can I find the bread?" The worker says, "It's in aisle 3. You say, "Thank you." Simple, right? These short phrases make shopping easier. Now, let's talk about social life, meeting friends, making invitations, and talking about plans. These are important parts of everyday English. Knowing simple phrases will help you feel confident and relaxed when you talk with others. Imagine you meet a friend. You can say, "Hi, how are you?" This is a friendly way to start a conversation. Your friend might answer, "I'm good, thanks. And you?" You can reply, "I'm fine, thank you." These short phrases are very common and polite. When you want to invite someone somewhere, you can say, "Do you want to come to my house? Or would you like to go to the movies?" Both are polite invitations, but the first one is simpler. Native speakers often use the short form, "want to come" or "want to go." These are very casual. If you want to accept an invitation, you can say, "Yes, that sounds great." Or simply, "I'd love to." If you want to say no politely, you can say, "Sorry, I can't." Or maybe next time. When talking about plans, people often use phrases like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" or "Are you free this weekend?" If you want to say you are available, you can say, "I'm free." If you are busy, say, "I'm busy." You can also talk about future plans with, "I'm going to IV," for example, "I'm going to visit my family," or "I'm going to study." This is a simple way to talk about what you will do. If you want to make plans with someone, you can say, "Let's meet at 6 p.m." or "See you there." These phrases are short and clear. Sometimes you want to ask for confirmation. You can say, "Is that okay?" or "Does that work for you?" These help make sure everyone agrees. Let's practice some useful phrases. "Hi, how are you? Do you want to come to my house?" "Yes, that sounds great." "Sorry, I can't." "What are you doing tomorrow?" "I'm free. I'm going to study. Let's meet at 6 p.m. Is that okay?" Remember, social conversations are usually short and friendly. People like to keep things simple. You don't need long sentences to make a good impression. If you're not sure what to say, ask questions. People love to talk about themselves, so asking "What about you?" or "How about you?" keeps the conversation going. For example, if someone says, "I'm going to the party," you can answer, "That sounds fun. What time does it start?" Simple questions like this make your English sound natural. Also, don't be afraid to say, "I don't know," or "I'm not sure," if you don't understand or need more time to think. It's okay to ask someone to repeat or explain. For example, "Can you say that again, please?" or "What does that mean?" are good ways to keep the conversation clear. Finally, when you say goodbye, you can say, "See you later," or "Have a good day." These friendly phrases make people feel good. Now let's talk about emergencies and asking for help. These situations can be stressful, but knowing simple and clear phrases can make a big difference. If something bad happens, you might need to say, "Help." This is a short and urgent word. Everyone understands it. If you see someone in trouble, you can say, "Are you okay?" This is a caring question. You want to know if the person is safe. When you need to call for help, you can say, "Call the police," or "Call an ambulance." These are important commands in emergencies. If you are hurt, you can say, "I'm hurt," or "I need a doctor." If someone else is hurt, you can say, "He is hurt," or "She needs help." Sometimes you need to explain the problem. You can say, "There is a fire," or "There was an accident." These short sentences describe what is happening. If you are lost, say, "I'm lost." If you don't know where to go, ask, "Can you help me?" or "Where is the hospital?" If you feel sick, you can say, "I don't feel well," or "I feel dizzy." These phrases help others understand your situation. If someone is choking, say, "He is choking." This lets people know there is an emergency. Let's practice some important phrases slowly. Help. Are you okay? Call the police. I'm hurt. There is a fire. I'm lost. Can you help me? I don't feel well. Remember, in emergencies, speak clearly and stay calm if you can. Short sentences are better because they are easy to understand quickly. If you don't know how to say something, just say "help" and point or use simple words. Also, remember to know important phone numbers like the police, ambulance, or fire department. In many countries, 911 is the emergency number, but it can be different where you live. If you have time, try to learn these numbers in English too. Finally, if someone helps you, say thank you. Being polite is important, even in emergencies. Now let's talk about talking on the phone. Many people find this difficult, but with simple phrases, you can sound confident and clear. When you answer the phone, you can say, "Hello, this is your name." This is a polite way to start. If you want to ask who is calling, say, "Who's speaking?" Or may I ask, "Who's calling?" These are polite and common. If you didn't hear, well, you can say, "Can you please repeat that?" Or "I didn't catch that." It's okay to ask someone to speak slower or clearer. If you want to leave a message, say, "Can I leave a message?" Or, "Could you please ask name to call me back?" When you want to say goodbye, you can say, "Thank you for calling," or "Have a nice day." Then, goodbye. If you need to call someone, start by saying, "Hi, this is your name." Then, "Is name there?" or "Can I speak with name?" If the person is busy, they might say, "I'm busy right now." You can answer, "I'll call back later." Or, "When is a good time to call?" Sometimes you need to ask for information. You can say, "Can you help me?" or "I have a question." Let's practice some useful phone phrases now. "Hello, this is Joelle who's speaking. Can you please repeat that?" "Can I leave a message?" "Thank you for calling. Goodbye." "Is Maria there?" "I'll call back later." "When is a good time to call?" Remember, phone conversations are often short and to the point. It's okay to ask for help or for someone to repeat if you don't understand. Practice these phrases, and soon you will feel more comfortable on the phone. Now, let's talk about traveling. Traveling is fun, but can be confusing if you don't know some important phrases. Knowing these will help you in airports, hotels, and other places. When you arrive at the airport, you might say, "Where is the check-in counter?" This question helps you find where to get your boarding pass. If you have questions about your flight, you can ask, "What time is the flight?" Or, "Is the flight on time?" These are simple and useful. At security, you might hear, "Please take off your shoes," or "Put your bags on the conveyor belt." These are common instructions. When you get to your hotel, you can say, "I have a reservation," or ask, "Do you have a room available?" If you need help with your luggage, you can say, "Can you help me with my bags?" If you want to ask for directions, say, "How do I get to the city center?" or "Is there a taxi stand nearby?" When you want to order food, you can say, "Can I see the menu?" or "I would like to order." If you want to ask about the price, say, "How much does it cost?" If something is wrong, you can say, "I need help," or "There is a problem." Let's practice some important travel phrases. Where is the check-in counter? What time is the flight? I have a reservation. Do you have a room available? Can you help me with my bags? How do I get to the city center? Can I see the menu? How much does it cost? I need help. Traveling is easier when you know these phrases. Don't worry if you make mistakes. People will appreciate your effort. Now let's talk about feelings and emotions. These are very important when we talk with others because they help us understand how people feel and how to express ourselves clearly. Sometimes you want to say you are happy. The simple phrase is, "I'm happy." This is clear and easy. But you can also say, "I'm feeling great," or "I'm in a good mood." These phrases mean the same thing, but sound a little more natural. If you feel sad, you can say, "I'm sad." But many people say, I'm feeling down. This means they are not very happy. It's a softer way to say it. When you are tired or stressed, you might say, I'm tired, or I'm feeling stressed. People often say these when they want to explain why they don't feel good. If you are angry, the simple phrase is, I'm angry. But sometimes people say, I'm upset, or I'm annoyed. These words are less strong than angry, but still show you don't feel good. Now, if you want to ask someone how they feel, you can say, how are you feeling? Or are you okay? These are kind and polite ways to check on someone. If you want to say you are worried, you can say, I'm worried. Or you might say, I'm a little nervous. These phrases show concern or fear about something. When you feel excited about something, you can say, I'm excited, or I can't wait. These show positive feelings about the future. Let's practice some sentences together. I'm happy. I'm feeling great. I'm sad. I'm feeling down. I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm angry. I'm upset. How are you feeling? I'm worried. I'm excited. Remember, talking about feelings helps you connect with people. When you say how you feel, others understand you better. If you don't understand how someone feels, you can ask, why do you feel that way? Or say, tell me more. These questions show you care and want to listen. Sometimes people use body language too, like smiling or frowning, but words are very important. Also, if you want to cheer someone up, you can say, don't worry, or it will be okay. These phrases show support and kindness. If you feel unsure about your English, remember, it's okay. Just try to speak, and people will appreciate your effort. Now, let's talk about restaurants and cafes. Going out to eat is a fun part of life, and knowing the right phrases makes everything easier. When you enter a restaurant, a waiter or waitress might say, hello, how many people? This means they want to know how many are in your group. You can answer, just 1 or 4 people, please. If you want a table inside or outside, you can say, a table for 2, please. This is a polite way to ask for a place to sit. When you are ready to order, the waiter may ask, are you ready to order? You can say, yes, I'd like the chicken, please. Or, if you are not sure yet, say, can I have a few more minutes? If you want to ask about the menu, say, what do you recommend? Or, is this dish spicy? These questions help you choose food you like. If you have allergies, it's important to say, I'm allergic to nuts, or does this have dairy? This keeps you safe. When the food arrives, you can say, thank you. If you want more water or something else, say, can I have some more water, please? When you finish, you can ask for the bill by saying, can I have the check, please? Or could we get the bill? These are polite ways to ask to pay. If something is wrong with your food, you can say, excuse me, this is not what I ordered. Or, my food is cold. It's okay to say this politely. Let's practice some common phrases. Hello, how many people? A table for 2. Please. Are you ready to order? What do you recommend? I'm allergic to nuts. Can I have some more water? Please. Can I have the check? Please. Excuse me, this is not what I ordered. Remember, polite words like please and thank you are very important in restaurants. They make the experience better for everyone. Also, don't worry if you don't understand everything. It's okay to ask, can you say that again, please? Or what does this mean? Eating out is a great way to practice English because you hear and use many common words. Now, let's talk about the weather. Talking about the weather is very common in English, and it's a great way to start conversations or make small talk. When you want to say it is sunny, you can say, "It's sunny today." This means the sun is shining and the sky is clear. If it is raining, you say, "It's raining." Or you can say, "It's raining a lot." If the rain is heavy, when it's cold outside, people say, "It's cold." If it is very cold, you can say, "It's freezing." If it is hot, you say, "It's hot." Or, if it's very hot, "It's boiling." This is a fun way to say it is extremely hot. If there is wind, you can say, "It's windy." This means the wind is blowing. If the weather is not good, you can say, "The weather is bad today." Or, "It's cloudy." If the sky is full of clouds, if you want to ask about the weather, you can say, "What's the weather like?" Or, "Is it going to rain?" When you want to talk about the weather changing, you can say, "It's getting colder," or "The sun is coming out." Let's practice some common weather phrases. It's sunny today. It's raining. It's cold. It's hot. It's windy. The weather is bad today. What's the weather like? Is it going to rain? It's getting colder. Talking about the weather is easy, but it's also useful because many people like to talk about it. It can be a way to start a conversation with friends or strangers. Now, let's talk about shopping for clothes. Buying clothes is something many people do, and knowing simple phrases will help you find what you want and talk with salespeople. When you enter a store, a worker might say, "Can I help you?" You can answer, "Yes, please. I'm looking for a shirt." This means you want to find a shirt. If you want to ask about sizes, say, "Do you have this in medium?" Or, "What sizes do you have?" If you want to try clothes, you can say, "Where is the fitting room?" Or, "Can I try this on?" If something fits well, you can say, "It fits perfectly." If it is too big, say, "It's too big." If it is too small, say, "It's too small." If you want to know the price, ask, "How much is this?" Or, "What's the price?" If you want to pay, say, "Can I pay by card?" Or, "Do you accept cash?" If you decide to buy, say, "I'll take this," or, "I want to buy this." If you don't want to buy, you can say, "Thank you, I'm just looking." This means you are only looking and not buying now. Let's practice some useful phrases. Can I help you? I'm looking for a shirt. Do you have this in medium? Where is the fitting room? It fits perfectly. How much is this? Can I pay by card? I'll take this. Thank you, I'm just looking. Shopping for clothes can be fun and easier if you use these simple sentences. Don't be shy to ask questions or try things on. Remember, being polite with please and thank you makes a big difference. If you don't understand something, ask, "Can you say that again, please?" Or, "What does this word mean?" Now, let's talk about hobbies and free time. Talking about what you like to do is a great way to make friends and practice English. If you want to say what you like, you can say, "I like playing guitar," or "I enjoy reading books." Both sentences are good to talk about your hobbies. If you want to ask someone about their hobbies, you can say, "What do you like to do in your free time?" Or, "Do you have any hobbies?" If you want to say what you do in your free time, you can say, "I watch movies," or "I play soccer." If you want to say you don't like something, say, "I don't like swimming," or "I'm not interested in video games." If you want to invite someone to do something, say, "Hey, do you want to play tennis?" Or, "Would you like to go to the park?" If you want to talk about how often you do something, you can say, "I play basketball twice a week," or "I read books every day." Let's practice some sentences together. I like playing guitar. What do you like to do in your free time? I watch movies. I don't like swimming. Do you want to play tennis? I play basketball twice a week. Talking about hobbies is fun and easy. It helps you share about yourself and learn about others. If you don't understand a word, it's okay to ask, "What does that mean?" or "Can you explain?" Remember, talking about what you like helps people know you better. Now, let's talk about asking and answering simple questions. Questions help us start conversations and learn new things. If you want to ask someone's name, you say, "What's your name?" It's the most common way to ask this. To answer, say, "My name is Joel," or simply, "I'm Joel." If you want to ask where someone is from, say, "Where are you from?" To answer, say, "I'm from Brazil." If you want to ask about age, you can say, "How old are you?" and answer, "I'm 30 years old." To ask about someone's job, say, "What do you do?" The answer can be, "I'm a teacher," or "I work in a bank." If you want to ask what someone likes, say, "What do you like?" or "What do you like to do?" The answer can be, "I like music," or "I like to read." When someone asks you a question, listen carefully and answer clearly. It's okay to say, "I don't know," if you don't have an answer. If you didn't understand, you can say, "Can you say that again?" or "Please repeat." Let's practice some questions and answers. What's your name? My name is Joel. Where are you from? I'm from Brazil. How old are you? I'm 30 years old. What do you do? I'm a teacher. What do you like? I like music. Remember, questions are very important in English. They help you talk and understand others better. If you want to make your questions polite, you can add "please" or say, "Could you tell me?" For example, "Could you tell me your name, please?" This sounds very polite and friendly. Now, let's talk about how to agree and disagree in English. These phrases help you share your opinion clearly and politely. When you agree with someone, you can say, "I agree. This is simple and direct." You can also say, "That's true," or "You're right." These phrases show you think the other person is correct. If you want to agree strongly, you can say, "Exactly," or "Absolutely." When you disagree, it's important to be polite. You can say, "I don't think so," or "I'm not sure about that." If you want to disagree more softly, you can say, "Maybe, but," or "I see your point, but." If you want to say you disagree strongly, you can say, "I don't agree," or "That's not right." Let's practice some phrases for agreement and disagreement. I agree. That's true. You're right. Exactly. I don't think so. I'm not sure about that. Maybe, but I don't agree. Remember, when you disagree, it's good to be polite and respectful. This helps conversations stay friendly. If you want to ask for more information before agreeing or disagreeing, you can say, "Can you explain more?" or "Why do you think that?" This shows you want to understand the other person better. Now let's take a moment to talk about something really important if you want to speak English better: keeping a conversation going. Sometimes you know a few words, you understand the question, but you don't know how to respond quickly. Or maybe you want to say something, but your brain is still translating. Don't worry, this happens to everyone. You just need some short, smart phrases to help you in these moments. So, imagine someone is talking to you, and you need a little time to think. You can say, "Let me see, ... This gives you a second to organize your thoughts. It's like saying, but in English. You can also say, "Well," or "That's a good question." They all help you sound natural while you prepare your answer. Let's say someone says, "What do you like to do on weekends?" You don't need to panic or stay silent. You can answer like this, let me see." I usually go to the park or watch a movie. That's it. Easy and natural. Now, what if you don't understand what someone said? You don't need to say sorry, I don't speak English, or freeze. You can say, can you repeat that please? Or, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. These are polite and common. If they speak too fast, you can say, could you speak a little slower? People usually understand and will help you. Now imagine you want to keep the conversation going. Maybe someone tells you something and you want to show interest. You can say, really? That's interesting. No way. When something surprises you, tell me more. This one is great when you want the other person to continue. Let's try a small example. Someone says, I went to Paris last year. You can answer, really? That's amazing. Tell me more. Now the conversation continues. Easy, right? You can also ask short questions to keep things moving. What about you? If someone says, I like pizza, you say, oh, me too. What about you? Do you cook at home? This helps you share your answer and invite the other person to speak more. This is great for making friends, practicing, and learning. Sometimes we forget a word. That's okay. You can say, how do you say? And then describe the thing like, how do you say? The thing you use to cut paper? And the person might say, scissors. And you say, yes, that's it, scissors. Now you learned a new word, and the conversation continues. Another great phrase is, I don't know the word in English, but, and then you try to explain. This shows courage and helps you learn. It's also helpful to know how to finish a conversation politely. You can say, it was nice talking to you. I have to go now, but let's talk again soon. Thanks for the chat. All these phrases make your English sound more friendly and confident. Let's review quickly some key ones you can use anytime. Let me see. That's a good question. Can you repeat that? Could you speak slower? Really? Tell me more. What about you? How do you say, I don't know the word, but it was nice talking to you? You don't need to memorize all of them now. Pick 2 or 3 and start using them little by little. They will make a big difference. And remember, you don't need to speak perfect English to connect with people. You just need to show that you're open to learning and that you want to talk. These small phrases are like tools in your English toolbox. Use them, and every conversation will feel easier and more fun. Now, we have come to the end of our time together. Thank you very much for listening and spending this time practicing English with me. I hope these phrases and examples will help you feel more confident in your daily conversations. Remember, learning a language takes time and practice. Don't worry about mistakes. They are part of the process. Keep speaking, listening, and enjoying the journey. Thank you so much for listening today. I really appreciate your time and effort to learn English with me. Remember, learning a language is a journey. It takes patience and practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They help you improve. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Your support means a lot and helps me create more lessons for you. Also, leave your comments or questions below. I love reading your messages and I'm here to help you. Keep practicing every day, stay motivated, and don't give up. You are doing great. See you next time. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.